I found my mother's diary after she died. Now I understand why she never hugged me. A leather-bound book hidden inside a hollowed-out copy of Pride and Prejudice on her nightstand. The first entry was dated 1 week after my birth. I can't bear to touch her. Every time I try, I see his face. For 32 years, I grew up believing I was fundamentally unlovable. My mother never hugged me, never kissed my forehead, never held my hand crossing a street. While other mothers enveloped their children in warm embraces, mine stood 3 feet away, hands clasped tightly in front of her, a tight smile never reaching her eyes. I used to wrap my own arms around myself at night, imagining they belonged to her. My father left when I was 2. Mom never dated again, never mentioned him except to say he wasn't ready for family life. I assumed he'd simply chosen freedom over fatherhood. I stopped asking about him when I noticed how she'd retreat into silence for days after I mentioned his name. The diary told a different story. I read it in one sitting, chain smoking on her back porch where she used to drink her morning coffee alone. The handwriting was shaky in those early entries, becoming firmer as the years progressed. The counselor says I have to try touching her, that my aversion isn't her fault. I know this intellectually, but my body freezes every time I approach her crib. How do I explain to a therapist that my daughter's eyes are identical to those of the man who attacked me, that her tiny hands remind me of the ones that held me down? My mother wasn't cold, she was traumatized. I wasn't unwanted, I was a permanent reminder of the worst night of her life. The diary detailed her struggles minus the panic attacks when I reached for her as a toddler, the night terrors that never fully subsided, the guilt that consumed her for not being able to love me the way she thought I deserved. I watch other mothers with their daughters and feel such shame. They make it look effortless, this physical affection that feels impossible to me. What kind of mother can't hug her own child? Yet every day I stay, every day I try. There isn't that its own kind of love. It was, I see that now. She never missed a school event. She sat through every recital, applauding louder than anyone. She made my favorite dinner on hard days. She taught me to be independent, to speak my mind, to never apologize for taking up space. She couldn't hold me, but she built her entire life around me anyway. The last entry was dated just 3 weeks before her sudden heart attack. Emily got promoted today. I wanted so badly to hug her when she told me. Instead, I made her celebration dinner and listened to every detail of her new position. I hope someday she understands that there are many ways to love someone. Mer just couldn't include touch. I closed the diary and held it against my chest, the closest thing to my mother's embrace I would ever receive. Sometimes the greatest acts of love aren't what we do, but what we force ourselves to overcome every single day. My mother couldn't hug me, but she never left, and somehow that feels like enough.